What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relay reverse rants, no hate. So, word has it, I posted the tweet up in the community section that Ryan Garcia and Joe Goosen have parted ways. And now he's saying that he is campaigning at 140. But there's no official word on anything, what opponent he's looking at. Okay. So, that's a good start. Hopefully Ryan can, you know, bounce back and do some great things at 140. It's yet to be seen. But if people don't think that Joe Goosen and Oscar and B Hop abandoning him like that had anything to do with it, even if he denies it, you saw the tweet that he put out the other last week, the same night of the fight, or was it the next day or whatever, when he said it might have looked like I was alone, but I have Jesus. Yeah, he felt it. And like I said, all three of them should have been there. But see, with Goosen, he's in the corner with him. Bell to bell. Before the bell. Post conference, after defeat, he's not there either. So we know about that bogus, nonsense about gun threats and all death threats. So you're gonna just send Gomez out there with Ryan and his family. So let them become targets, right? I'm gonna stay safe and hide and send them out there. So anyway, now we'll see where Ryan goes from here. But something else that I saw with Oscar Delahoya. So Delahoya basically says that Ryan Garcia is the new face of boxing. Now, let's understand why he's saying that. He says because of the pay-per-view numbers, right? 1.2 million or whatever. Well, and let's say this too. We don't know how much piracy was going on, right? He was saying that 1.2 million for the pay-per-view buy rates. Then he says, and Tank's last fight, he only did 200,000, buy rights. So, so you see this with 1.2. Okay, so wait. So you're trying to say what he's saying is because of the increased number. He's crediting that to Ryan as if Tank had nothing to do with that. Okay, Ryan wasn't even fighting on pay-per-view before he fought Tank. So what was Ryan's numbers? In fact, they fought in the same building, and Tank had, 4,000 or 5,000, something like that, more fans in that building than Ryan did. So at the end of the day, he's not crediting the two fighters. He's trying to make it as if it was just Ryan alone. I also posted that in the community section, I think the day after the fight, where I said, and I'm sticking by this, that number surpassed Canelo's. Canelo and Caleb Plant did better numbers, way better numbers, than Canelo versus Triple G 3 did. So my thing is, we will see as Tank's career goes on, same as Ryan. Let's see what the numbers are against his next opponent, and so forth and so on. So then we'll know. We'll be able to gauge better how much of it was. Of course, it was both of them, but how much of it was the dance partner that Tank had versus Tank's stardom now, because Tank got him out of there with a body shot. He did things that people didn't think he could do. He won the fight. Delahoya somehow was saying that Tank's not the face of boxing, it's Ryan, the guy that lost. Listen, Ryan Garcia. He went near the fight and he lost. Before I even say that, let me say no. Ryan Garcia is not the face of boxing. Every fighter needs the right dance partner to maximize their numbers, okay? Every fighter. But, like I said, depending on who they're fighting, we will see how much of that was each other as opposed to what they do going forward. Let me say this about Ryan Garcia. Okay, and this is where people, they don't get it. They're all into this entertainment. Let's just talk. And Ryan Garcia talked real confident. Tank talked real confident. Both teams talk real confident. When I said we're talking about a guy who's a 5-time 3-division champion versus a guy who's never champion, who we've never seen in the trenches, we've never seen have to really face real adversity, and we're making it sound like they're equals. Okay? We will know come fight night. Simple. Doesn't matter. I felt like Tank should have got him out of there. And I said, I don't see a reason for this fight to go the distance. Tank said he was going to get him out in about 7 or 8 rounds, 6 or 7 rounds. I felt the same way. And most people that was pulling for Tank to win was saying the same things. This is not about hate for Ryan. Yeah, I wanted Tank to win. I was rolling with Tank, yes. But at the same time, it has nothing to do with hate. It has nothing to do with dislike. Any two fighters in there. If Ryan had won that fight, you know what I'd be saying? Hey, Ryan did what he was supposed to. I don't know that Tank is the face of boxing. I don't really care about it personally. But Canelo, nothing stays the same forever. Okay? Example, Canelo's about to fight this guy, John Ryder. Is anybody talking about this fight at all? Have you noticed the numbers when Canelo do interviews now? Huh? No more 500,000-600,000 in 3 days. No. Those numbers are like way lower than that now. I don't really care about making a big deal about who the face of boxing is, but how are you going to have a fighter gets beat and gets beat up is the face of boxing. So, Tank Davis, let me start with Ryan first, okay? And let me, because I got to say this and get this out, because I'm hearing so many people with their opinions, and that's fine. Well, let me say this, okay? For the people that's calling Ryan a quitter, if you're saying it because you're mad because you want him to beat Tank and he lost, it doesn't make a difference. He lost. If you're saying it because you really feel like he's a quitter, okay, whatever. This is what I think, okay? If you saw before he went down, it was like a delayed reaction. He caught Tank with a shot. Tank caught him. Bam! And then he tried to then keep going, and he starts backing up. You see Tank coming towards him, and you see Ryan kind of stop, then go down. And he's looking up. Tank's telling him to get up. He looked at Ryan. He shook his head no. This is what I'm going to tell you. Ryan could have got up. Would he have been able to defend himself properly? I'll say no. No mas. Tank broke his will. He didn't like that body shot. He was hurt. Now, he popped right up after the 10 count and then walked back to his corner. He's not bending over. He's not grabbing himself. He just walked right over. Yes, he could have gotten up. I think that the punch hurt him. Don't get me wrong. I think the punch hurt him. And he was scared, I'm not going to defend myself properly. So he stayed down on purpose. Yes, I believe Ryan could have stood up on time. Because he stood there and he looked up, and as soon as the ref waved it off, he popped right up, walked away with no problem. Okay. Point is, he didn't want to fight anymore. Tank beat the heart out of him. He broke his will. That's what you saw. Okay? Tank Davis was outboxing the taller Ryan Garcia. He was faster than Ryan Garcia. Look at his foot speed, his hand speed, how he get in, get out. He was getting his shots. He's just shorter, not as rangy. He was beating him to the punch. And basically, Tank, I keep telling you guys, Tank baits you in. Tank mess with your head. And you think because he's moving around, he's scared. Or he starts grabbing. Nope. That's on purpose. And what did Ryan Garcia do? The same shit Raleigh did. Started trying to get desperate, got overzealous, and started reaching. As soon as you start doing that, Tank like, got you. And also, if you notice, several times, Ryan Garcia completely turned away. Not just his head, his back was completely facing Tank Davis to avoid punches. When he got dropped in the second round, same thing. He threw a shot and then he leaned and turned over, but he was looking down. And, Tank came in, bang, caught him with that hook, dropped him. Point what I'm getting at, people are not giving Tank Davis credit for his all-around package. They always talk about his power, like all he has is power and he's small, so he's hard to hit. Tank has speed, power, a sharp ring IQ. He understands what he's doing in there. He has defense. And you know what's funny? Raleigh Romero and Ryan Garcia both said the same things. The same exact things. Tank gets hit every fight, and I hit way harder than this guy. They both said the same exact thing. But they couldn't even budge him. They didn't take him off his feet, but he knocked them out. Oh, Ryan Garcia is better than Rolly Romero. And Rolly, he was winning around all this. Listen, people. Ryan Garcia lost the fight. Just leave it at that. Did he quit? Yes. He quit. His will was broken. He was scared to get hit. He didn't want anymore. What did I tell you guys, man? If you get hit with a body shot and you're like on the ground, you're not up on your feet, 10 counts over, you're still down, yeah, okay. We've seen a lot of fakers in boxing, man. Bruce Seldon goes down from a punch from Mike Tyson that went clearly over his head. Bruce Seldon's getting up to his feet as the ref is counting. As soon as the ref got the 9, Bruce stumbles back in the corner. And I'm like, look at this acting job. And then all of a sudden the ref waves it off. Mike starts walking towards Bruce. Bruce immediately gets up and walks and embraces Mike. He's not wobbling. All of a sudden his legs are just fine. Just saying, right? He was scared. Fight only lasted 1 round. Ryan wasn't scared to fight Tank. He was scared to continue. And I do believe the body shot hurt him. We're not going to start talking about, oh, he was weight drained. Oh, it was because it, no. Listen, for Ryan Garcia, get you the team that you need, get your focus on, don't worry about getting caught in these shit talking games, don't worry about jumping on social media, trying to, pump yourself up. I said in the last video, your team can hurt you just as bad or worse than your opponent. Because for Oscar to be saying that Ryan, who just lost a fight and got stopped, is the new face of boxing because of the pay-per-view numbers, then what is Tank then? When he won the fight? No, I'll say it again. Ryan Garcia is not the face of boxing. I don't know that Tank is the face of boxing. I don't know if Canelo is still the face of boxing. I don't know. Because you got to look at the progression going forward. You can't just go by just the one fight. Now, let's say they would have messed around and did like 8.4 million or something like that. Now, that's different. It's like, okay, because None of these guys have done that, okay? But I'm going to tell you guys something. Oscar De La Hoya saying that, to me, maybe he's trying to keep Ryan Garcia from leaving Golden Boy. Period, though. Okay? Who knows? But he's saying all of that. He's trying to get, Ryan's fans to see it that way. He's trying to get people to, okay, yeah, because, no, stop playing with the numbers like that. Ryan is not the face of boxing. Stop it. But Tank Davis, who is a solid fighter, has skills all around. I watched him beat Ryan to the punch, and I'm sitting there going, damn, Tank hands. And I said before the fight, I don't really know that Ryan is faster than him. Stylistically, he like to throw his punches in like a flurry type, manner. Where Tank doesn't throw his punches like that. He throw them more to like really get you out of it. He'll put his shots together, but Ryan has that flash and flare that he adds to his style. That doesn't make him faster. In fact, he was missing that left hook by a mile. He was doing better landing the right hand than he was the left hook. And when I'm watching it, his hands didn't appear to be all that fast like people were saying. And because I'm watching, yeah, Tank is quick, man. Tank is smart. I keep telling people, man, they talk as if Tank is getting lucky knockouts. Tank baits you in, man. I'm telling you, he starts messing with you and starts making you think that you're onto something. And then out of nowhere, lights out, fight's over. Now, Riley, don't let this get you down. Just get back up, do what you got to do. Keep going forward. Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. I don't think that fight's going to happen. This is what people was asking me about, and I said I don't think so. If you saw Devin Haney's one of his most recent interviews, he said he wouldn't did that rehydration clause because Devin Haney, okay, just like Ryan Garcia, is big for 135. So he already said that he's not going to do that. Now, if that fight happens, it would be the point of Tank saying, I don't care about the rehydration clause. Doesn't matter if people say, oh, how come you had it with Ryan? It doesn't matter. It is what it is. But I don't think that we'll see that because, look, Tank is in a position right now. There's fights for him where he don't even have to fight. Look, he can fight Devin Haney, but I don't think he's going to. And Shakur Stevenson is the other guy that people are bringing into the picture now. So it's like this. For Devin Haney, who's not going to go with this whole stipulation of rehydration clause, he still is the undisputed champion. Tank isn't. So even for Tank to be a bigger star, to have more recognition or whatever it may be, okay, that's fine. But at some point, it's not, Tank is not going to be able to just live off of beating, Ryan Garcia. So people are going to want to see that fight. So I say, okay, I don't, if they can work out things, yeah. Tank is going to have stipulations because he feel like he's the A side. Popularity. Devin's the freaking undisputed champion. He's not going to bend and bow to him like Usyk was doing for Tyson Fury. That's not going to happen. So unless Tank says, I don't care about the rehydration clause, which I don't think he's going to do that because, if they did it thinking, yeah, but Haney's not a big puncher, it could backfire on him as well in terms of, him coming there ballooning up like that. So we may not see that fight. Now, we might get Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney or Shakur versus Tank Davis. And Shakur said that if that fight does happen, he acknowledges that Tank is the A side. So it's like just make the fight happen, right? So I think it's more likely that we'll get Shakur versus, Tank. I don't think that's going to happen anyway. Not right away. We might wind up, like I'm saying, we might wind up getting Shakur versus Haney first. So, I don't know. But I don't think that Devin Haney and Tank happens. I think that for Devin Haney, look at it this way. For him to be in the position he's in, but people are trying to push the narrative, oh, nobody knows him, all this, that, which is a lie. It's not with all this nobody knows Haney stuff. But for him, he has Loma coming up. Now, I don't think Loma wins this fight, but if Loma was to win, oh, Loma's back. Loma is this, Loma is that. Loma's a solid fighter. All right? But after Devin Haney beats Loma, I'm telling you guys already, and I've told you this several videos ago, they're going to make excuses. Oh, Loma's not the same. Loma looks old. Yeah, right? Don't do that. How old is Terrence Crawford? And what is people calling him? Pound for pound, the best fighter? Yeah. So don't do all of that. But he beats Loma, then it's going to be like, but can he beat Tank Davis? Or can he beat Shakur Stevenson? Then you got up-and-coming guys who haven't made enough noise yet, and they're trying to make noise by taking shots at the guys that's already established. So maybe Tank winds up fighting someone else. Maybe it's not Shakur either, right away. Not that he needs to fight someone else, but this is a business. You got to understand. These guys are about this money. They're making this money. So again, don't be surprised if Haney and Shakur wind up fighting. And then the winner of that maybe wind up fighting Tank somewhere down the line. But the way things go in boxing, don't get your hopes up high. I just saw a video where Anthony Joshua, they're saying that he may not be fighting Wilder in December. Now all of a sudden, no, he's scared of Wilder. Like, look, people, maybe they want Anthony Joshua to fight before this December. And because of his reset, his rebuilding, they want to make sure that he's refined. So him and Wilder can go in there and give people the best, fight that they can give. So we don't know what's going to happen. We can only just sit back and listen to what we hear. And, all this extra speculation, it's just based on, you try to look at things realistically. Because if you think about it, right, even when they ask Tank, does he think he's the face of boxing? He's like, hell yeah, right? Okay, and that's cool. But when they're asking him, who does he want to fight next? He has options to fight different guys. But who do you really want to see Tank fight? Haney or Shakur? And then, for that matter, right? Look at Lomachenko. All right, look at Loma. If he loses to Devin Haney, it wouldn't make sense for Tank to fight him. If you can fight the loser, no, you're supposed to fight the winner. So maybe we get the fight. But the only way you're going to get Haney versus Tank Davis is if it's a rehydration clause, right? Well, at least that's what we think based on what happened with him and Ryan. Who knows, though, right? Who knows? But those fights need to happen. So if Ryan is going up to 140 like he's saying, Ryan needs to be careful, though, in the sense where 140 got some dangerous fighters there, too. So does he go up, take an easy fight to try to look good, wait for the bigger name to come around? We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, this whole face of boxing nonsense and Oscar Delahoya trying to, beef him up to be better than what he actually is. Ryan, don't have to put his head down because he lost the fight to a better man. But if he feels any kind of way, it's more like he probably felt like, man, maybe I could have continued. You heard him say to Joe Goosen in the corner, yeah, it was the rib, man. I didn't want to get hit in that rib again. I didn't want to get hit again. You heard him say that in the corner. This is after the fight. So he's basically telling you he could have got up. He could have got up. But Tank Davis, like I said, he comes there to break your will and take your soul, man. He don't come in there to, he comes in there to fight his fight. He came in there and those body shots, like people making these excuses up about him getting knocked out, Ryan. I mean, in sparring, getting hit with because Tank was even asking him, did you get dropped in sparring? He said, no, I didn't. So don't come with no, he had bad ribs, he was injured going into the fall. All this nonsense. No, he basically just got beat by the better fighter. And the thing is, Tank's with Mayweather, and I'm pretty sure Mayweather's telling him, man, no matter how many people you beat, there's always the next challenger, and then people are crossing their fingers hoping that you lose. In terms of star power, well, Tank need to keep his momentum. There's no need for Tank to take some easy fight just because. And you guys went out there while you're still in your primes, right? And let me say this again, because you got to do this for people. For people making excuses. The kid's only 23 years old. Stop it. Ryan and Devin are the same age. It just so happens Devin is undisputed champion. So stop with the excuses about, he's just a kid, he's only 23, he'll learn from this. And, so now all of a sudden, it's like you want to half-ass give Tank credit. Like, he's not ready. Okay, so this is Floyd and Canelo all over again. Only Tank is much younger than what Floyd was when he fought Canelo. So you making excuses for one guy losing at 23 years old against a guy that was 37. Let's not sit here and make excuses about a 23-year-old that just fought a guy 28. Let's not sit here and try to take credit from a guy who went in there, fought his ass off, and was just simply the better fighter. Not just that night. He's just period. All around, he's period just better than Ryan Garcia. Say it like it is. The man went to 140, took a title. He didn't take the Teofimo route. He didn't go up and fight two meatballs. So if he's fighting nobodies, but he's a 5-time three-weight division champion, then what are any of these other guys doing? So, excuse me. Just saying, baby and the guy, man, he's only 23, but yet the other guy that's the same age got all the straps. And guys are trying to avoid fighting him. So, Ryan can get back on track. Tank need to keep the momentum. Haney's in a great space too because he's fighting Loma. After he beats Loma, he needs to keep the momentum going. Shakur Stevenson, he's going to end up fighting one. Maybe, Shakur Stevenson, there's like these guys that's coming up that they look good, but they haven't been in these big fights yet. It's interesting to see what Shakur does and which one of these guys he get lined up with first, because the division, it just needs that spark, man. It needs for these guys to stay active and stay hungry. And when I was watching, I sat back and watched the fight again, with Tank and Ryan, and I just seen a lot of things that people wasn't really pointing out. But I say for any fighter, if you sleep on Tank and you trying to, make yourself believe that BS narrative like he's just a puncher, it's like Teofimo's dad was being interviewed and was talking about how black fighters, nobody can beat them. They're so athletic. They're the best at what they do. Athletic, like as if. Now go back to Anthony Joshua's statement, how he said he didn't like how when they asked Usyk about him, He didn't mention anything about his skills, just he's very athletic. And that's like a thing that people have been, even like in football. Oh, black quarterbacks run too much. They don't stay in the pocket, deliver the ball. Yeah, stand there and get concussed because you got a 350-pound motherfucker coming to try to put his fucking head in between your spine and knock your ass out with his helmet. All this type of shit. And they're like, oh, black guys are not good at the 3-point line, but they can jump high, they run fast, all that type of shit. So it's like, yeah, they're looking at Tank, like I said, not acknowledging his overall skills. And I don't think Tank needs to go up. Tank is short, man. Only guys that's going to be shorter than him are guys that come up from lighter weights to come to 135. Tank is a short guy, man, and he's not physically like a big guy. So what would be the purpose of him going up in weight where he's going to be fighting guys that's just way bigger than him? Okay, isn't that why they said they didn't want Canelo to stay at 175, because they didn't want to give him to give up too many? No, cruiserweight, too many advantages. And then, that's why that fight. Well, that's one of the reasons that fight with that cruiserweight didn't happen, because nobody cared about that fight. But so same thing. Stay where you are. If it gets to the point where you actually really are like having problems making the weight, and you are training the way you're supposed to, that would be something different. But there's no need for him to have to go up and down. Stay right where he is. And with Shakur Stevenson being there, I'll tell you guys right now, for every division that we look at right now, and there's fights there, I want to see this guy versus this guy. With the exception of Teofimo, because he's at 140, but he's getting ready to fight Josh Taylor. If Teofimo was still there, we can't say what would have happened. There's no guarantee, like I'm saying, there's no guarantee that if he would have stayed at 135, that by now he would have already fought Haney or Tank, because we can say, because he clearly made it known that he was about to go up to 140 after he made his promise and gave his word. So we know that he had no interest in fighting them. So who would he have been fighting by now? And then two, you look and think, where does Rolly fit in this mix? Where's the Frank Martins and all these other guys, the Keyshawn Davis, and like these guys that's there? So, we look at it, and this division has some firepower. What they have to do is promote themselves, and their promoters need to make sure that people know who they are, so people want to see these guys. So even with the absence of Teofimo at 135, it doesn't, it's not like the division is dried up, it's in trouble. But we need to keep the momentum going, man. And so I'm going to close this video, and in closing, I'm just going to say, for everything that we've seen between Ryan and Tank, what feels good about it is it happened while they were still in their primes. Okay? And I don't think too many people really understood the difference in their skills, their IQ. They imagined this fight going in a completely different way. And I think that Tank shut a lot of people up and got a lot of people, no matter how much they hate and try to deny him, they're always going to try to find somebody else to say he can't beat. But what can they say that makes any sense? Now, obviously, I ain't going through all this, he was trained. Don't you remember they were on stage and Ryan was telling Tank, you look weight drained, look at you look weight drained, right? Okay, so Ryan Garcia gave every indication that he was ready to go. So we're not going to play this, he was drained, it was because of this, it was because of that. The better man, the better fighter won. It's as simple as that. So, like I said, I don't really care too much about this face of boxing stuff, but initially that's what sparked me to do this particular video, is because Oscar said that the guy who lost the fight is the face of boxing, the new face of boxing. I didn't know you became more popular for getting knocked out, getting stopped with a body shot. But yeah, I think that even like, look, Timothy Bradley, different guys, Andre Ward, different people. Who else? There's a lot of people were speaking about this body shot, man, and but yeah, I draw my own conclusion, and I say that, yeah, he could have stood up. I don't think he would have been able to defend himself the way he would like, because that body shot, it hurt him. It's not like I don't feel like he just popped up, oh, the pain's gone. Like, no, he didn't want to have to defend himself under those circumstances, and that's the price you pay fighting Tank Davis. So again, a guy who has built a strong following on social media and get recognition that way had people thinking that he was actually better than Tank Davis. But we saw what happened. So when people say, oh, he'll beat this guy, that's the way you think, that's the way it seems. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't happen that way. So I salute all of them, man, for going in there and doing what they do, minus all the bullshit talking. It's not necessary. Just focus on winning the fight and not trying to flex and make more out of the situation. It's just a boxing match, man. You guys need to make sure that your money is right, but you guys need to make sure that the fans are satisfied. People are paying their hard-earned money to come and sit and participate, whether they're live in the arena or watching at home. And so this is what needs to happen. They need to keep it going. Benavidez, he just beat Plant. You got the Canelo fight coming up. Now, does Canelo change his mind with this, I don't want to fight another Mexican fighter? Who knows? Does he decide he wants to fight Charlo, Demetrius, Andre? Because all we keep seeing is a lot of fake news about this guy's fighting this guy. Now, you see example when they say the fight between AJ and Wilder is confirmed, just to end up saying that may not be the next fight for those two. So yeah, I mean, we have something at 135 that if it's done right, a lot of people will be satisfied. You can't make everybody happy. Somebody's always gonna find something to bitch about. But just saying. So anyway, tell me what y'all think about Oscar De La Hoya, man. With this whole Ryan Garcia is the new face of boxing. Like, what do y'all think his motives are? I'm pretty sure we on the same page with a lot of this shit. Like, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to soften up Ryan to, hey man, you are the new face of boxing. I'm proud of you. You did this, you did. That's fine. But to call him the new face of boxing in a defeat, and in a defeat where he started getting chipped up, it makes no sense, man. But tell me what y'all think about those comments that he made about Ryan Garcia being the new face of boxing. And you know what, man? It might take a little bit of time to go by. We can't, for what's going to solidify if Tank is the new face of boxing is really not just the 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. That's what people don't understand. It's in the long haul. You don't just become the face of boxing because of one night and then all of a sudden. I just, like, for the sake of boxing, what doesn't need to happen is that he did what he just did with Ryan, and then all of a sudden he's in there with, Meatball Mike or Meatball Matty. Like, no. If you want to go down, it's pound for pound right now. And I think he should be on that list, that pound for pound list. And, when you look at the way Tank has been, people call him like a small Mike Tyson. If you look at the way he's doing what he's doing and people still trying to doubt and find fault, it's always going to be that. But you look at it and you see, like, the guy is sharp, man. So we're not going to play that game about, and there's nothing against Ryan. But come on, man, that makes no sense. The face of boxing just got stopped. Quit. Made sure he didn't get up on that 10 count. So Oscar's comment to me makes no sense. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.